Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Math 20-2, Chapter 7, Quadratic Equations, Lesson 2, Solving Quadratic Equations by Factoring, Part 2. Now, we just reviewed foiling here. You should remember. Now, moving on to factoring trinomials. Now, in the last example, we multiplied two binomials and got a trinomial. That is something with three terms. The opposite process, breaking a trinomial into binomials, is called factoring. Now, something you learned in Math 20, or Math 10C, sorry. Something like this, v squared plus 12v plus 20. I need to factor that. That is, if you think about it, v plus something times v plus something. Now, this is the only time I'm going to write it out like this. You have two numbers that add together, whatever this number is and this number is, they add together to be 12, but they multiply together to be 20. So, what are those numbers? Now, when you think about that for a sec, I go back to your puzzles. It's diamond math problems. We're getting down to these ones here, where this is the product and the sum. So yes, besides the multiplication tables, you should be working on your puzzle packages. Now, here, the way I think of it is a lot of numbers add up to be 12, but very few multiply together to be 20. Now, the factors of 20 are 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 3 and 4 and 5. So which pair of those add together to be 12? Now, you're looking at this funny box here. You may or may not have seen this before. V squared, 12v, 20. I write out my answer here, and I go v plus 10, v plus 2. And I fill in the box. V times v is v squared. V times 10 is 10v. V times 2 is 2v. 10v and 2v add to be 12. So yes, this is the answer. V plus 10 times v plus 2. And yes, you can write it as v plus 2 times v plus 10, because the multiplying order doesn't really matter. But this is factoring. Now, you would have learned this back in Math 10C, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Now, x squared, 10x, 16. I set it up in the box like this, and I go, okay, the only way to get x squared is to be x times x. Now, two numbers that add together to be 10 and multiply to be 16. Well, the factors of 16 are 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4. Which pair add together to be 10? X plus 2 and x plus 8. And checking that, x times 8 is 8x. X times 2 is 2x. Yes, that adds together to be 10. So that's x plus 2 times x plus 10. Now, I did that rather quickly, but this is a review of Math 10C, and you should remember-ish. Remember-ish? Whatever. All right. Now, on to something slightly harder. X squared minus 2x minus 8. Minus 2x minus 8. Now, this has to be x times x. Now, the problem is, two numbers to add together to be minus 2 and multiply to be minus 8. Not plus 8, minus 8. So what are the factors of minus 8? 1 and minus 8, or minus 1 and 8. Nope, neither of them add up to be minus 2. 2 and minus 4, or minus 2 and 4. Here. X plus 2, x minus 4. So this is minus 4x plus 2x. So yes, that adds together to be minus 2. X plus 2, x minus 4. So that's factoring. Okay? Now, I suggest, some of you may not have seen this box method or rectangle method before. I find it very efficient. It's the way I tend to factor it. If you like it, great. If not, there are other ways. So, once we can factor something, and yes, we'll do more practice factoring, we'll solve the equation. So, something very simple, 2x squared minus 3x equals 0. Two ways, algebra or calculator. So first thing, it's algebraically. Factor, then take each bracket and make it equal to 0 and solve. So 2x squared minus 3x equals 0. Now, if you want to put this into this box like this, 0. Now, the only way to get 2x squared is 2x times x. Now, I admit this one's a little hard to do on the box, but it's only 2 terms. We can factor the terms. So I'm deliberately starting with an easy one here. I can factor out an x. It's 2x minus 3. Now, here we go, oh, we're multiplying 2 terms together to get 0. So either x equals 0 or 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. Now, if 2x minus 3 is 0, solving for x, like we did before, plus 3 plus 3, 2x equals 3, divide by 2, divide by 2. X is 3 halves, or 1.5. Now, so if you want to use the box, you can, but it's actually too easy. So x is 0, x is 1.5. So we just solved this equation. Now you're all going, I hate doing it algebraically. Fine. We can graph it. y1 equals 2x squared. I can't read. Minus 3x. So graph it. X squared minus 3x. My windows are minus 10 to 10. And stop that. Graph it properly. Sorry. Nice calculated, gets poopy head occasionally. Now, you'll notice here, the x-intercept solutions are zeros, where it crosses the x-axis. It looks like 0. Now, table of values, when x is 0, yes, it does cross at x equals 0. Now I'm going to make my windows a little smaller. Minus 3 to 3, minus 3 to 3 graph. Now, that other, the one on the right, the other x-intercept, looks like it's about 1.5. But, second, calculate number 2, 0. We want to be to the left. Yes. And we keep on going, so to the right or above it. Yes. X equals 1.5. So, if you don't want to factor these, you can always graph them. All right? So our two solutions are 0 and 1.5. We found that algebraically. We found it graphically. Now, be careful. There will be times I will tell you to do it algebraically, not graphically. You can always check your work graphically. So let's do this one quickly. X squared plus 5x plus 4. Solve it by factoring and graphing. Well, x squared, 5x, 4. Now, x squared, the only way to get x squared is x times x. Now, two numbers that add together to be 5 and multiply together to be 4. X plus 4 and x plus 1, I think. So that's 1x, 4x. So yes, this is x plus 4 times x plus 1 is 0. Now, we just factored it. Now we have to solve. Two numbers multiplied together to be 0, so it's either x plus 4 equals 0, or x plus 1 equals 0. Subtract 4, subtract 4, subtract 1, subtract 1. X equals minus 4, or x equals minus 1. Now, I just solved that algebraically. Now we're going to graph it. And once again, if I'm going too fast, pause the video. But I want to get this one done, so y equals clear x squared plus 5x plus 4, close bracket. Why am I doing that? No bracket, sorry. No, minus 10 to 10, and you poopy head, stop that. There we go. Now, it does look like from my graph it crosses at -1 and -4, but let's look at our table of values. X is -1, y is 0, that's one answer. X is -4, y is 0, that's my other answer. Yes, so I got it right. So that's what I need you to be able to do, solve by factoring and graphing the equations. Now, we're going to pause the recording here because the video is getting kind of long, and then we'll go on and we'll do a bunch of practice questions. If you have any problems with this, watch the video again or shoot me an email. Good luck.